come in and join us in my office. But welcome, everybody. This is our final counselor talk for the year. So thank you for those who have participated with us this year. I am Mrs. Shanks. I am one of the counselors here, and I serve students last names A through K.
And I'm Mrs. Colvin, counselor with students with last names L through Z.
And today we have an exciting topic for you. We're going to talk about summer opportunities and college visits. So this is always an exciting time of the year, and actually, I can't believe it that it is this time of the year where we are talking about summer plans. So summer is a great time to just kind of think about college and careers, thinking about life and what we want to do after high school. So today I just want to share with you just some summer activities that you can do to just kind of explore and boost. No, thank you on that. Kind of explore and boost your college and career exploration. So you'll be able to access this website, but lots of things that you can do over the summer. There are many, many summer programs at local community colleges and through local agencies. Um, you could take a free online class. A wonderful thing to do in the summer is to get a job. This actually really helps with college and career readiness, kind of getting you in that career field where you are being responsible and working with people. That's a great experience to have in summertime. There is a great time to kind of get a job and kind of introduce yourself into that career field. Another thing to do in the summer is volunteer. When I talk with local colleges, they are looking for students who are well rounded. And when they're reading those college entrance exams, they're looking for different aspects of who that person is. So to be able to share a little bit about yourself and your passion with your volunteer hours and things that you enjoy is a great thing to do and kind of helps with that college essay that you might be writing. Internships is another wonderful thing to do over the summer. Job shadowing. We'll be talking about this more, but SAT, ACT prep. In the Midwest, we focus mainly on that ACT prep. So we'll talk about that. And we'll talk more about college visits as well. Summertime is a wonderful time to go on college visits.
Okay, another to-do item, if you will, over the summer is to start thinking about what you can do now. So in the summer after your 9th grade year and 10th grade year, that will make the senior year feel less stressful, not only for the student, but for us parents. We start introducing these when we're working with students about their ICAPs. And your 9th grade student, summer after a 9th grade, your student might say, well, mom or dad, what do you mean I need to start thinking about college? And although they may not be ready to do action items, these are just great conversations to have. And that's what I would suggest doing is going and, pulling the 9th grade and saying, hey, why is it important to think about and being intentional with what classes you pick during your high school ICAP meeting, and then what classes you're going to take. Things like, hey, how are we going to pay for college as a family? Those are just conversations that could happen just organically, over a road trip or over the dinner table. But what we have here is the 9th and 10th grade planning items. And if you click on where it says 9th and 10th grade, it'll take you to this website, which is where I pull these from. And these are just great items. There's even specific ones related to campus tours, and one, if you scroll back up, there's one for college planning for a student athlete. And that's something I'll go ahead and include a slide on. I looked at that yesterday. But these are, like I said, just great action items. And if you click on the next one, and this is for 11th grade. And this is where I would strongly, softly, maybe nudge your 11th grader to really start marking these items off. It goes without fail that every year students will come into our offices. You know, not only senior year are they trying to just manage their workload, their volunteer hours, their NHS or ACT prep or A+ hours. These things will feel tedious and overwhelming. And so we strongly suggest that you really sit down with your junior and go through this list. And I suggest to students and families all the time just to make a binder and label these things and just start plugging things in or making notes under these columns so that when it is time to start applying that senior year, you're already going to have some action items done.
And every year and every summer, I think it's good to just have that conversation with your student, like what are their plans after high school? Because as we grow and change, our students grow and change too. So our ideas of what we want after high school as a ninth grader changes very much as an 11th grader. Even things like, do we want to go to a community college? Do we want to go to a school far away? A lot of times I'll talk with freshmen and they want to go to New York. And then by the time we get to our senior year, they want to stay closer to home. So our ideas of even where we want to be after high school changes. And of course, our ideas of what kind of career or what kind of major would we like to study in changes as well. So it's always good to just kind of have these family discussions over the summer. So this is a spreadsheet that Lead and Park Hill High School kind of collaborate on. And it just kind of, we just keep track of different opportunities that are shared with us, of programs that are available in our area and in other areas as well. So this is just a great reference to look and see what kind of programs for summer are available to students. So it's broken down in areas. There's Midwest opportunities, and even East Coast, West Coast, and other opportunities there as well. So this is something that we do kind of just keep adding to throughout the year. So this is a great thing to just keep looking back at and seeing if there's any additional opportunities available. Another great thing to do in the summer is work on those A+ hours. Remember, we have the A+ program, and in the A+ program, students can earn a scholarship for 2 years free at a community college. But that scholarship is also taken at 4-year universities as well for smaller scholarships, not 2 years free. But I know like Park College offers $5,000 for a student that is A+ certified. So to be A+ certified, you need to be a U.S. citizen, a resident of Missouri. You need to graduate with a 2.5 GPA, have 95 or 95% attendance, and that's cumulative over the 4 years, and complete your 50 A+ hours. And so contacting Ms. Graves or Dr. Roth are great things. Also visiting their website to find out what kind of A+ hours are offered over the summer. You need to think about summer school and adventure club. Those are offered at every elementary school over the summer. And so those are great times to get those A+ hours done without being in the school year. I have links to their websites here as well, which you can also find on our district website as well.
Okay, summer school enrollment. The enrollment window is open, and as you can see there, I put in the dates for those. We do offer classes in person and online. I want to remind everyone that when we speak about Park Hill Summer School, I'm talking in a general, terms that it's for a student that's going and trying to earn a credit. I'm not necessarily talking about Lead Summer School that I'll address in just a minute. But this year, summer school for the entire high school, all 3 high schools will be at Park Hill High School this year. And you can see the dates and the different sessions, as well as to the right, the different classes that we're offering. We get asked all the time by students and parents, hey, what should my child take during the summer? And really, what we discuss is the main goal, in my opinion, is when you're looking at summer school classes, is to take those classes that maybe you need to knock out because they're required, which during the school year will give you more availability and more options. So for instance, maybe you're a rising sophomore and you want to take an additional AP class, but you're still, as a sophomore, taking primarily courses that are required for graduation. Health and personal finance would be 2 half-credit classes or a PE class that you could take that would then give you more room to take an AP class. And the reason that we think about that is because, the AP is also a dual credit opportunity as well as a GPA bump. And so we counsel students to look at those options that are available to you over the summer. And we work those options into students' 4-year plans. Now, you'll notice some students will want to knock out like a math class or a Spanish class, and those classes aren't available during the summer. And that's because we don't have teachers that agree to teach those classes. And those are more specialized classes that usually students with IEPs would need resources and services, and those aren't offered during the summer. So Lead Summer School, and I'll just briefly talk about this, is for anyone that completed at least 50% of their class during the second semester or first semester. You qualify for what is called Lead Summer School. So really, we're just extending your semester by about 3 weeks. If you have any questions about Lead Summer School, I would invite you to either call your counselor or Dr. Eisenminger, who can give you more information. But anyone that qualified for that opportunity did receive an email from Dr. Eisenminger. So I would suggest starting there first to see if you can get your questions answered.
One thing to note is that students can earn up to 2 credits in Park Hill School District Summer School, and no more than that. Another thing to note is those half credit classes would be either session 1 or session 2 dates. Those full credit classes like Foundations of Fitness or Intro to Business, those would be both session 1 and session 2. So half credit would be 1 session and full credit classes would be 2 sessions. So it's important to look at those dates and really think about if you have plans or vacations scheduled, because with it being a summer school class, participation is very important. So missing a week of a summer school class would be like a third of the class. So that would be hard to do. So you really need to look at your summer schedule and decide what are the best dates for you.
Okay, so like Ms. Shanks mentioned earlier in the presentation, summer is a great time to start looking and prepping for the ACT. As you guys might remember, this year, every year, we offer during the school day for freshmen and sophomores to take the pre-ACT, which is an indicator for how well they are going to be prepared for that ACT that they take their junior year. And then juniors take the ACT in-house. So these are just resources we always want to put out there to help you and your students start prepping for the ACT. We get asked quite often, hey, when should my students start taking the ACT? And really, I would start with the end goal and ask yourself, is my student wanting to go to a 4-year college? Are they wanting to go to a community college? Are they wanting to go to a school that's test optional? Or maybe they don't have any idea and they want all options available to them. if you stay up to date like we do about the ACT, many schools have kind of swayed to being test optional, but actually a couple schools this last year are going back to requiring the test because research has indicated that the students' abilities and skill set were impacted by that in college. And so the research is proving that it was a pretty strong indicator of skill sets moving into college. So that's just a question that you want to navigate with your student. And of course, Ms. Shanks and I are always available to kind of work that conversation through with you. But back to the presentation, those links highlighted in blue, those are all links open to you. Here are kind of some of those things that we talked about on, asking yourself, why should or shouldn't I take the ACT? And then it also starts telling you about test dates, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Well, it's the next one. The national test date, act.org. You'll get used to that URL, believe me. But this is the primary website, and you will want to make an account with act.org. You don't necessarily have to, but we will with your student during their junior year on that super test day. And I can't strongly suggest enough that you remember that sign in, because a lot of students will call and ask us for their ACT information, and we don't have access to that. We are a site. We don't house the act.org information. So, but anyways, here are the upcoming test dates. It doesn't look like they've produced or publicized next year's, but it's usually offered at least once a month throughout the school year. Here are some ACT prep opportunities available. If I should have mentioned back on that summer school opportunities, we do offer an ACT prep class. And so what they do during that class is they take you through the different topics for the ACT, and they give you pre-tests and just start giving you tips and tricks to help prepare you for that. And then here's some additional online prep that's available to you. Some are free, some are not, but there's some information that you can click on and look at. We do offer fee waivers for students and families that qualify, and that's based on income. And so if that's of a concern, we do, when we meet with juniors, we start asking them the questions, and we have those just right with us. And so we can give a student a fee waiver. And if they need to take it twice, 3 times, we can offer that fee waiver as many times as they need it. The additional resources under there are just helping you understand your ACT score. If you're like me and you took the ACT back, in the 90s, late 90s, they didn't have what we now call the ACT super score. So back when we were taking it, you had to, if you wanted to improve your score, you had to retake the whole test. But now your highest score in each subject area stands. And so if you got a 28 on a math section, but you got an 18 on the English section, you do sit for the whole test, but your highest score stands. And so we talk with juniors, and we do, during our junior presentation, we talk about those tips and tricks that if you really just want to focus on increasing your English score, you could decide to go ahead and try to do your math, but if you did less on your math and improved your English score, that math score would still stand. There's some additional information about the SAT. We really talk to students here about, where you're looking to go to school. There's not any schools, that are local to the Midwest or state schools that require the SAT. You're going to see more of the East Coast and West Coast schools, those Ivy League schools that are going to require that SAT. And unfortunately, we don't offer the SAT here at the Park Hill School District.
One thing to note is sometimes ACT will offer a sale. I know this year in December, they offered a buy one, get one ACT score sale. I have a current junior in high school, so I purchased that. So that gave my student 3 opportunities to take the ACT, a buy one, get one, and then his high school test date as well, so super test day. One thing that you might want to think about doing is that first ACT score or test is just use that as a baseline. Just go take the ACT. It should be something that, you just go and take, just kind of see where your baseline is. And then you can use those additional testing times to do some ACT prep to see in what areas you need to bump up your score. So that's an idea if that's something that you're interested in. If you're a rising junior parent, that might be something to look for. I know that sale was in December this year. We try to push that out whenever we find when it is. Okay, college visits. Summertime is a wonderful time for college visits. Here is just a guide. You can actually take a course on how to plan for a college visit. It just kind of gives you some tips and tricks on planning for those college visits. Really getting students on campus is such an indicator of the right fit for a student. All websites are going to show smiling students with beautiful fall leaves on campus. And so really actually stepping foot on the campus to see how that feels for you is such an important factor in making this big decision. And I would suggest looking at different size schools, looking at the smaller schools, the larger schools to see what your student feels most comfortable in. So college visits are great. Summertime is a great opportunity to do those. Any college that you're interested in, you can just go to their website and pick a tour date. You just schedule that. They are free. For those colleges that you're not able to travel to, there are virtual tours that you can do and actually meet and talk virtually with a college guide if you're not able to make it in person. But for those local colleges in our area, if you're able to go out and visit and step foot on campus, that's a great indicator in helping you and your student make this big decision in their life. Okay, we have talked a lot about checklists of things to do in the summer, but another big thing that we need students to do in the summer is de-stress, relax, and have fun. It is summer. So although we do have lots that we need to get done in the summer, it's also a time to just kind of de-stress as well. So want to make sure that we make sure we schedule time for that as well. It is summertime, and I know I think we are all looking forward to that summertime. Does anybody have any questions so far before we move on? Looks like there's chat. Now I need to find it again. The chat. There we go.
Oh yeah. Dr. Early answered a couple of my questions. This is Sheila. So you know me, Dr. Miss
Yes.
Everybody knows me. Sorry. Everybody knows my kids. So yeah, I got the twins.
Yeah.
So my question was, do they have to sign up for school for attend the ACT prep? I just noticed it recently and you mentioned it a little bit ago. Do they have to sign up for summer school to do that?
If you're wanting to take the ACT prep class, it's a teacher in the district. There are ACT prep opportunities that aren't associated with schools. Do you want to go back? I'll show you the
yeah, I
class.
Sorry, I was out. I was my computer rebooted and I didn't have it on my phone. Okay.
So yeah, here is, it's the very top, the ACT prep. Okay. That is the online class that you can schedule. Your student would get a credit and it would just count as a
okay.
Yeah, so it is credit. The summer school class is credit bearing. So you do get a credit and a grade for the Park Hill School District Summer School ACT prep class.
But it's all online. Okay.
It is. It's online through Schoology. Mm-hmm.
But is that okay? Because so my question is, it's online. Does that mean it's virtual or is it self-paced?
It is, I believe with ACT prep, and I can look and give you more information. It usually online classes don't have scheduled face-to-face times, but I do know that ACT prep, you will have scheduled times that you meet throughout the week that you can sign up for as well. I don't necessarily know that it's required, but there is some face-to-face time opportunities given in that class, more so than some of the others.
Yeah, the reason why I asked because I'm taking him on a trip with me, so in the middle of
Yeah.
June. So
I will tell you though that those teachers are pretty used to that, and they might actually even be teaching it from a trip as well. So I wouldn't necessarily, if you are interested, I wouldn't let that kind of scare you away.
Right. My
But
kids will love that I'm signing them up for summer school. But,
Hey, they get a credit.
well, they get credit, and that's awesome. I think I must have seen. I think I might have read a newsletter like recently. Thank you guys. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Any other questions, Dr. Early? Thank you for manning that chat. Did you see any other questions?
That's all I see right now.
Okay, great. Well, if there's no other questions, and we will be sending this presentation out with the links and everything so you can digest this information a little bit more. But we would love your feedback on the counselor talks that we offered this year. So this is just a QR code to take you to a survey. We would love your feedback about the counselor talks so that we can improve for next year. So there's that for you as well. Want to be mindful of the time. It's 8:26. So if there's any other questions, you can go ahead and ask those. If not, we really appreciate your support for your students. I see that it says survey says we need permission. I will fix that as soon as we end this. So I will go in and fix that for you. Thank you for sharing. But thank you so much for supporting our counselor talks, but most importantly, thank you so much for supporting your student. We appreciate all that you do as we are making the climb to the end of the school year. So if you have anything else or need additional information, feel free to reach out to Ms. Colvin or myself.
all right, thank you. Have a great summer.
Thank you.